Vlog number 48, coming at you from downtown Reno here, the intersection of Sierra and 2nd Street. And before I do anything else, and this is partially just my own enjoyment, I recently saw the movie Hard 8. I'd never seen it. I'm sure some of you have. 90s flick with John C. Reilly, Samuel Jackson crushes it in this movie. Gwyneth Paltrow also in this movie. But it's shot entirely here in Reno. So take a look at the intersection behind me now and take a look what it looked like then in that movie. A lot different. The casino on my right was then Eddie's Fabulous 50s, and on my left was the Flamingo Hilton or the Sahara. Not exactly sure what it was at that time, but it's had a number of iterations over the years. Now it's just condos called the Montage here in downtown Reno. So what I'm doing down here is I'm talking about the story that I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. Eldorado Resorts is buying Caesars Entertainment. And that could mean a lot of different things, including for the World Series of Poker. It could have implications there, but you do wonder about it. I have no idea what those could be. I still feel like the Rio is the perfect place for the World Series of Poker and that it shouldn't move, despite reports that it might, but who knows what's going to happen. So I'm going around trying to get interviews on that, but I'm coming up short. There's really nothing that will make you hate your job as a reporter more than when you have to just beg people for interviews and no one will talk. It is just a nightmare. Oh, God, it's the worst. So I'm kind of going through that right now. But I do actually have an interview lined up with Dave Wershing, the former president of the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, so I'm going to get his take on this whole thing. Anyway, that's not why you're here. You are here for some poker, so let's get after it. So we jump into the game, and the action picks right up. The low jack opens to 20, and I'm in the cutoff with pocket jacks. I raise it to 70, and it folds back around to the low jack, who calls, leaving himself only 120 behind. So with 140 in the pot, the flop comes out 6-6-3 with 2 clubs. The low jack checks, and I bet 50, immediately thinking that that might be too much to get called by worst given the stack size especially. He ends up laying it down. The next hand is against the same guy. I had missed the blinds and straddled for 10. He raises to 30, and I look down at 5-6 of hearts, and I make the call. The blinds fold, so with 60 in the pot, the flop comes out 3 of hearts, 4 of hearts, 9 of diamonds. He bets 30 again, leaving himself 120 behind again. I think with an open-ended straight flush draw, I have an extremely easy shove all in here. We'll put him to a decision. He thinks about it for about 10 seconds and lays it down again. I open ace-king of clubs under the gun to 20. The button, who is a vlog watcher named Dave, calls, and it comes queen, 5-3 with 1 club. The flop ends up getting checked through, and the turn comes the 4 of clubs, giving me the nut flush draw. I bet 30, and he makes the call. The river comes the deuce of hearts. I check, and he bets 100. I literally say out loud that I'm convinced I'm getting bluffed here, but feel like I kinda have to get bluffed here because I don't know what he's capable of. I fold, and exactly as I suspected, he shows Jack 10 of clubs for a missed flush draw as well. Kinda wish he would've hit. Another week, another appearance of Yukon Brad Booth in the vlog. He straddles to 20, and I'm under the gun with king 9 of diamonds. I make it 60, and he calls. So with 120 in the pot, the flop is king 7-4 with 2 diamonds, giving me top pair and the king high flush draw. I check, looking to check raise. But there is an ancient Chinese proverb at play that states, you can only check raise when your opponent bets. He checks back, and we go to the turn, which comes an offsuit jack. I bet out for 60, targeting a jack, and he makes the call. So with 240 in the pot, the river comes another king, giving me trip kings. I bet $125, and he says out loud what's going on.
Oh, you're such a good spot. The value's having the shit out of you.
He pays off, and we do indeed take him to ValueTown, taking down a $490 pot. 3 limps, and I have pocket aces in the cutoff. I raise it to 35, and again, Brad Booth. In this hand once more. In the small blind, he raises to 165. So everyone else folds, and I decide to gamble here and not raise. So with 345 in the pot, the flop comes out Queen, Jack, 10. Definitely not exactly what I had in mind, given his likely 3-betting range before the flop, but he bets out for 300. I can obviously never fold, so I decide just to call. With $945 in the pot, the turn is a brick, coming a 3. He checks, and I elect to down bet here. I make it 250, and he folds pretty quickly, so I think pocket 9s or pocket 8s, or even worse, was definitely what he had there. The next hand gets us to the end of a streak that I'd mentioned on a previous vlog or two. I had played at least 6 or 7 straight hands in a row involving flopping royal flush draws. And that streak was not just not hitting the royal flush, obviously. That streak was losing the hand. And I'm pleased to announce that that streak is over. I've still never hit a royal flush, by the way, in 10 years of live poker, but in this hand, I had King 10 of clubs on a flop that came out Ace of clubs, Queen of clubs, 4 of hearts. My opponent bet $200 on a Jack of spades turn. So I had the nuts to go along with the royal draw. I just called, expecting a lot of bluffs. The river came in offsuit 8. He bet $200, and I raised to $650, and he folded ace king face up. So that one worked out pretty nicely for me. And on the day, I ended up booking a win of $1,167. Leaving the Peppermill just after 11:30. I guess around the same time I'll be leaving Colo 8 after anchoring the 11 on Saturday. Booked a win of just over $1,100. This month of June has been amazing. The month of May was so horrible. The month of June, so good. So the question is, can this run good continue into LA? The last time I was there on this vlog, I got destroyed. Well, I got a feeling that's not going to happen again this time. I got a feeling we are going to have a revenge on Southern California. But let's not get overconfident. Just keep playing our best poker, take it one hand at a time, keep making good decisions. That will be the key for this trip. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we will see you next time from sunny Southern California. All right, I guess we're not done yet. As you can see, plenty of cops behind me. I'm grabbing video from a shooting here in Midtown Reno. If you're watching this on June 30th, then you're seeing it on the day of this shooting. So, pretty standard stuff here for news. But here's what's not standard. I had a chance to watch some of Daniel Negreanu's vlogs, always entertaining, at the World Series of Poker. And you may remember a couple of vlogs back, I had a guy that I know well from the Reno games named Adam, but I just call him Reno Grinder because on Twitter and Instagram, that's his handle, Reno Grinder, because that's what he is. You saw him on the vlog where he took his dogs and I took my dog up Rattlesnake Mountain here in Reno. Anyway, it's like Daniel Negreanu's editor made a point to work him in when Daniel was playing out in the Burrow, as it was called. Take a look, you can see it right there. Pretty funny stuff with Adam. So anyway, that's officially gonna wrap things up, and we'll head down to Southern California for a stop at the Players Casino, a stop in San Diego, and a stop at the Hustler Casino if all goes according to plan.